the cinephiles, freaks, and weirdos. Tape heads, ghouls, and ghosts love to tune in and listen to Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Skin Slip and Owen Neal are going to reveal their thoughts on movies that most people don't dare to watch. Psychotronic. 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 Welcome back to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast, your friendly neighborhood bearded men who like to watch terrible movies for some reason and torture each other by having to talk about them afterwards. I am your host, Skin Slip. That is my buddy, Owen Neal. His beard is way cooler than mine, but his cat's not as cool as mine. He doesn't know it yet. Welcome!
That's not true.
I knew you wouldn't agree with that. You're like, that's a lie!
All cats are equally cool.
I love cats, man. Cats are the best. Alright, so we watched this movie called Killer Rack. Now, preface this. This was sent over by Camp Motion Pictures. They sent it over in the spirit of us giving a review of it. So, this is technically a paid-for promotion because they gave us a copy of the movie free. Technically, they gave me a copy of the movie free. I illegally ripped it, gave it to Owen so we could watch it because they don't give us 2 copies. Which is also, by the way, the reason why we haven't reviewed the other movie by the same director, Slime City, because I couldn't get Owen a copy. So instead, we decided to watch Killer Rack, which I should actually maybe hold it up to the actual camera so people can see it. Which is a film about, yeah, you guessed it, boobs that kill people. Well, you know, so yeah, Camp Motion Pictures sent this over for us to review, and we're gonna review it. So, yeah. Well, do you wanna, kick us off there, Owen?
Okay.
Alright, ramble your preamble. Pre-ramble, if you will.
Sure. We get introduced to Betty, I believe her name was.
Betty? All I could think of, every time someone mentions her fucking name, all I could think of is Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Betty, Betty, Betty. Okay, sorry, continue.
And kind of goes like this. Everyone makes fun of her because she has small tits.
People have vandalized her door.
At work, all the girls.
Yeah.
Even though, like, I swear 2 of them had the exact same size breast as her, but they made her wear, like, big, like, shirts and stuff to try to hide that she had at least a B. She wasn't as flat as they were making her out to be. But
It was exaggerated, of course.
so everyone's making fun of her. She works at Double D something.
Yeah, some sort of company. It's just, it doesn't matter. The point is she works at a company that is basically just a fucking joke for breasts. Like a lot of things in this movie, it's just a fucking excuse to have a joke for breasts.
There's one guy there that's nice to her. He gives her coffee. He comes into play later, but
he totally gives her, like, when you're talking, like, he's totally giving her the crush eyes. So it's like right from the beginning, if you're astute, you're like, oh yeah, okay. Anyway.
Honestly, I thought he was gay, but
that also crossed my mind briefly, but I don't have a gaydar, so like, I would like, I'm like, is that guy gay? And I'm like, nope. No, he's not. I'm just terrible at this because you just can't tell. That's the reality. No. You just can't. So
I just thought they were making him a gay character, but
that's my favorite part about this movie was they were kind of playing with that, right? Because they made this character fairly effeminate, and he's kind of like, and he's a stereotype almost, but he's not, and that's why I like that character a lot because he's not a stereotype. It's like the most depth the movie has, honestly.
Yeah, so she has a shitty day. She goes home. There's a scene with some, we should mention them because they show up quite a bit. The guys who like rock who hang out on the corner by her house.
Oh my god, the one guy's got a shirt that says, "I'm a huge metal fan," and it's just a fan, like a picture of a oscillating fan. I love that shirt. Fucking kills me.
They're catcalling everyone but her
Yeah.
because they thought she was a dude.
Ugh, that's someone else says that at some point too.
Yeah.
It's like that's the worst fucking line. Like you don't say that to somebody. Jesus. Anyway.
You also never ask anyone when they're due because they might just be fat.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just rude.
That's a fact of life. That happened to my mom. She wasn't even fat. There was just wind blowing up.
Oh.
So her shirt looked big. And
Oh
this woman asked
no!
when she
How
was due.
embarrassing.
And everyone was like, "So when are you due?" And she's like, "I'm not pregnant." I thought it was hilarious, but
Like,
anyways.
I just gave birth to the wind baby you just saw. Shut up.
But yeah, so she goes home to her really shitty boyfriend. Like I don't know why she's even with him.
Everything in this movie is cranked to 11 in an attempt for humor, but this character is so obviously shitty that, like, I don't know, man. It's one of those characters where you're like, I don't believe anyone could like this character. But you know what? What the fuck do I know? That's what it really boils down. What the fuck do I know? Anyway.
Yeah, he's
He's
the
a
same
really
way.
big shithole though. Just
He doesn't really want nothing to do with her because she has no tits. So I don't know why he's dating her.
because she feeds him and he gets money from her and he gets free sex from her. That was basically what he was saying on the phone.
What was his terrible line? It was she wanted to have sex and he's like, "Okay, I guess I'm drunk enough."
Yeah, I
She
guess I'm drunk
was-
enough. Like, what? I did a double take. Like, what? And she fucking heard it too. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway.
And then he claims his mom called, and then he's just really gonna go to a strip joint with her friend. She overhears it, yells at him. Yet she does stay with him.
Yeah.
She doesn't be like, "It's done. Get the fuck out of here." So, whatever.
You know, way it goes sometimes.
And there's just a lot more of that. And then there's some clips throughout of a doctor who's trying to put a breast on women.
Dr. Thulu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Thulu.
We don't really see it, but it's pretty clear that everybody's dying that she's working on.
I'd also like to point out that when you see the commercial on TV, it is the worst green screen imaginable. I mean, like, the feathering is way the fuck off. I mean, it's clearly done on purpose, but it's like, you know, when you're trying to make something look like it's done badly, and you overdo it. That's pretty much a big chunk of this movie because a lot of these movies, I've seen a few of these movies where they're purposely trying to be bad for humor's sake, and a lot of it just misses because you have none of the heart behind when someone genuinely thinks they're making something good and just fails at it.
Yeah.
Samurai Cop, for example. Everyone thought they were making a good movie. It's terrible. I love it. I love it because these people are so passionate. They don't even see during the course of the movie how terrible the movie they're making is. That's how you make a good movie. You just go out, try as hard as you can. Don't have no fear of failing, and just let yourself fail. And if it's terrible, release it anyway. That's how you make it so bad it's a good movie. Not purposely making it bad. To be fair, there are quite a few jokes that made me actually laugh in this movie. So, because there are some well-delivered lines, and there are some people who are actually quite funny. So, sorry, mini rant.
She goes to her therapist, remember?
Oh God, it's Lloyd. It's Uncle Lloyd, good old Lloyd Kaufman, and he's surrounded by basically every visual gag for boobs you can think of. Two globes, big painting, you know, like everything. It's revealed at the end of the scene.
Yeah. He tells her she's perfect and not to worry about it, and then this zooms out and you see all the titty art on his wall.
All the various boob shapes and boobs and actual boobs that are on his wall.
His secretary has huge breasts.
That's like I said, this whole movie is just an excuse for boob gags.
And then she has a nightmare.
Oh, which is a musical number.
Yep.
That song about boobs.
Yep. How you need nice big boobs.
Yeah, I believe the song was called... I made notes. Fun Bags, that's right. Fun Bags. And this, by the way, so far is all in the first 30 minutes. Not even at the 30
Yeah.
minute mark yet.
Yeah. So she just comes. She's like, fuck it. She goes and sees that doctor she saw on TV,
In a
even though it had
moment
the
of
terrible
weakness.
commercial.
Yes.
And I didn't laugh out loud, but I did a little chuckle where she's waiting in the waiting room. And the doctor just comes out covered with blood and it's like, another failure. It starts rolling around on the floor.
It was great. I laughed. I laughed audibly for that. That was great.
And then she still goes through with it. She still lets the doctor, you left at this part, but the doctor's like, all right, get naked. And she's
You
like,
were like, what?
in the lobby.
I know, it was just awkward. Like, what? I laughed because it was a really awkward moment. But yeah.
But yeah, she gets huge titties.
Yeah. They're giant and... Yeah, anyway, you don't get to see them yet.
No. And she goes to work and shows her dominance over all the other girls who now have smaller breasts than her.
Right.
She gets a promotion. The guy that's always nice to her doesn't stop staring at him.
He's too intimidated to like talk to her anymore. Like I gotta go. And I love that part actually when he's bringing her a coffee in that scene. And you look at her desk, there are like 40 coffee cups on her desk. She never gets rid of any of them. They're just piled all over her desk. I didn't notice this until there was a flashback moment later on when she goes, "Oh yeah," but
I think that was hinting at that she just gets free coffee now constantly because she has big boobs.
oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Because then like flower bouquets started showing up everywhere. And,
I know. See, I didn't. I guess that joke I guess went over my head. I just thought she just looked like she was messy.
Well, at first she showed up, and he gave her coffee, and she's like, "I got a free coffee this morning." And then later you see the scene where there's just coffee everywhere. So yeah, that's the way I took it. Just everyone's just like, "Here's free coffee, man," just because she has big boobs now. She goes home. The guys in the corner pay attention to her now, of course, because she has boobs.
Oh right. Yeah.
But she ends up with the boyfriend who is now all about him, just wanting to touch him. But he's kind of a jerk, so she's like, "No, I'm now confident, and you don't get any sex tonight." But then she immediately passes out, and he tries to cop a feel while she sleeps, and his hand's eaten off.
She immediately passes out because it's explained later that when she is around people who are aroused, the boobs take over. It's not established at this point. It's established in the third fucking act, or near the end of the second act. Actually, I didn't think about it. So in another 35 minutes, you'll know the reason.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
And this is where we're introduced, probably my favorite too, the cops.
Yeah, Chief and the James, I think the other guy's name is.
Chief, the kid, and even was it Maloney? He was kind of funny too.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
they determined, or at least the normal cop did determine it was the turtle that ate his hand off, and there was two cops trying to catch this little turtle.
Ridiculous.
And then for some reason, the guy was taken out on a stretcher by two World War II soldiers. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that. I'd like to point out that it took 30 minutes for the first attack, that for him to get his hand bitten off. Exactly 30 minutes in.
Which you don't really see. He just pulls the stump out.
You don't get to see. Okay, so you get to see the unmonsterized boobs in one shot, and they look like paper mache boobs. I mean, like they look horrendously fake, and it's hilarious because it's really they're like not even. They're like kind of awkward and shit. Not. I mean, like in the sense that like the shapes aren't correct. They're like octagons or whatever on one side. It's a badly formed boob. Anyway, and then you get to see the monsters at the end. So like there's a lot of this, fancy cuts, or not fancy cuts, angles, to try to not show you the monsters until the end. I'm guessing they didn't have them until later in production, maybe.
I don't know. Probably just for the big finale.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to do the Jaws approach. Anyway, so yeah, the guy gets wheeled out with apparently 2 World War One soldiers.
It looks World War II to me.
World War
Like
Two. Okay, I don't know.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh wow,
He was on a wooden stretcher. They had like green army fatigues, and they had the fucking helmets on.
that's
I
weird.
guess
I
it's
didn't.
supposed to be funny.
I just missed that. I just. Woo.
Of course, he's yelling about how it's her fault, and he dumps her, which she doesn't seem to care, obviously.
Yeah, whatever. Guy's a jerk.
I mean, she's kind of out of it, though. She's kind of shocked by the whole thing, because she doesn't know what happened.
I mean, wouldn't you be if your boobs ate something? Ate some dude's
And
hand?
she kind of wanders home. The 2 rockers hit on her. She turns them down, and they're really bummed. They're like, fine, have a nice day. And then she goes home, goes to bed, and then the boobs take over, and she walks back out in a trench coat.
My favorite part, by the way.
Which is kind of funny because they're talking to him, and they're like, no, you're mean. And he's like, her mouth's clearly not moving, but you hear a voice. And then she's
doing the Weekend at Bernie's head lull. Just to be clear.
And they're both destroyed.
Now,
One's eating on the
first-
corner.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about this. So she finally coerces them into having sex with her. She goes around the corner with this lanky one, and the fat guy turns up the noise, turns up the music to cover up the noise of them having sex, and so he doesn't hear the skinny one being eaten alive by the killer boobs around the corner, and all you see is his hands and his face, like like that, basically, as he's eaten.
And the massive blood spray.
Yes, the fat guy doesn't notice, and then he goes around the corner, I think, to investigate.
No, she comes back around.
Oh, she comes back around, right? And he
stands behind him.
Yeah, she stands behind him and grabs him, and his nipples shoot out fountains of blood, and I laughed so hard. I was like, what the fuck?
Because the breasts are eating him from behind.
And they're apparently shooting blood out of his nipples because of the force. I'm like, what? It's pretty ridiculous. It's the best part of the movie, I think.
And then we get some more awesome cop banter.
Yeah, well, the older cop was actually a really decent actor, and the younger cop kept rushing his lines.
Where they just kind of, the guy points out that they've been here every day, rain or shine, for years, and now they were missing. And they're like, we found some blood and some parts. They might have been other random human parts. They're just normally here.
They may have been here before. Human remains that have been here before. Like, what?
He's like, I don't buy that. But yeah, they're dead.
Neither do I.
And there's some more kind of like work stuff, blah, blah, blah. One of the girls from works kind of hits on her and brings her to the hot tub when she's clearly being taken over. And I believe they're supposed to be aliens. That's what the breasts are supposed to be, right?
They're interdimensional beings. They're like Cthulhu monster type things.
Yeah. But they seem to think that her breasts are also them. But then she takes off her top and she had padding.
Smaller boobs.
It's not the killer rack is not happy with these tiny titties.
And you get a insert shot of the only real boobs in the entire movie, randomly, that are clearly not the person that is in that was there before. It's just a random insert shot.
Yeah.
Just of note that you're like, what? That doesn't make sense. What?
So she's dead.
Yep.
There's also a guy at a bar gets killed. That's hitting on people really badly. What was it? His name is Dwayne, or rhymes with insane, because that's how the sex will be. That's
yeah, he's basically like a hick Jim Carrey. He looks like Jim Carrey, but awful.
But yeah. So the cops come and visit him, and that was kind of funny too, because they're like, people have gone missing. It's like, oh, the guy's around the corner. I didn't say anyone went missing. It's like, yeah, you did. It kept just going like that.
Yeah.
There's a guy, something else happened. His hand was stolen. I didn't say anything about him being stolen. I was like, I was there. It's like, story checks out, Chief. That went on for a while.
Yeah.
They're still bumbling around. He knows something's up because everyone that's disappeared in the last week, she's interacted with them. But he hasn't linked it yet.
They just haven't figured it out yet. With the connected the dots, you know. I really like the older cop though. I think he you can see has like some actual acting chops. So. The other guy's still working on it.
And then I'm sure some more stuff happens, but the friend from work says his feelings. Turns out he's a virgin. Wait. First, she goes to a weird psychic.
Oh yeah, she was a weird psychic. That's right. The psychic happened.
It was an overly long,
terrible scene. It was awful. It was the worst. And she made a joke about her. Are you a virgin? A what? A virgin? Oh God, it's the worst joke. It's so old hat. Christ.
Yeah, none of that was funny. But then later, when they brought it up, some of the random people brought it up later. I chuckled a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. So the whole long setup was just so she could read the cards, and she just kept pulling up cards that had doubles on it, like double melons, double whatever. Yeah. Not even real cards.
Draw 2 cards from the Uno deck.
Yeah, just kind of being like, oh, I can't figure it out. Just obviously her tits have something to do with it. She does try to go back to so the friend says that he's into her and that he's a virgin, and then her tits start growling and acting up, and she kind of gets taken over by him. But when he says that he loved her, and whenever she's not there, he misses her, she snaps out of it and kicks him out of the house.
To save his life, of course.
Yeah, she knows something's up now. So that's where she goes back to the doctor, and there's a whole long explanation of what they are and yada, yada, yada.
And that's when we find out that's when people are aroused, that they take over, or when she passes out.
Yep.
So. And then she goes back to work.
She's working at night.
Yeah.
And then the boss shows like
Super
he's kind of
boss.
been so far. He's been like a bumbling idiot, doesn't know her name, just stares at tits. But it's all a ruse. He's actually not a bumbling idiot.
He's Bill Cosby, apparently. Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, he claims that she got the promotion simply because of her confidence. But then he ends up slipping some in her drink so he can take pictures of her.
He's like, I'm not a pervert who hires people based on their looks because of the size of their breasts. And then she conks out, I'm a pervert who likes to drug people. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
He was clearly acting different, though. Like, you saw him earlier, he was like a big doofus.
Yeah, this guy was one of the better actors in the movie, honestly.
But yeah, he, of course, is killed by evil breast.
Yep, as he deserves.
And now they're, like, fully taken over, right? Where she's walking down the street with them just poking out of her shirt, and you see the mouths and stuff.
Yep, because she got conked out. And she gets confronted by somebody. I can't remember why.
There's just like a shitload of people standing around in this abandoned alleyway.
Yeah, and
like,
then she yells
"Boobies!"
"boob smash" and starts murdering people.
Yeah. I like the fact they're all just like, look at those tits, killer rack.
Yeah,
Boobies.
I think the director
these disgusting cones with mouths.
I know they don't look attractive at all.
I'm pretty sure I would have been heading the other way. I wouldn't be like, check those.
Like, what the fuck's wrong with their boobs? They have horrifying teeth and their blood covering you.
Those are fucking disgusting.
And then she makes a got milk joke, which is by shooting milk all over some dude's face and his face melts. But
yeah, and then he says, "Not again."
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, maybe does Slime City have melting people?
Oh yeah, so I bet that guy gets killed in Slime City. I would love to see it. Maybe Camp Motion Pictures could send you a copy already.
So yeah, this is just a nonstop of weird jokes and people being eaten and punched by tits and the cop's neck gets snapped by tits.
Oh, that was great. Just 2 giant tits go out and snaps his neck. I was like, oh my god, that was great.
The kid, the African American cop, shoots the tits, but they just chew on the bullets and spit them back into him.
Yeah, and
so
he drops.
Seemingly dies.
But later on, he pops back up. It's great.
Yeah, and he says something. to warn the chief.
Something about the chief. Something to the chief. I can't remember. And then he drops dead again.
Then the chief has a heart attack.
Yeah. And then they both get up. Like, what?
Yeah, at the very end, they get up and leave.
It's so
They're
bizarre.
like, oh, these bullet wounds hurt. He's like, you'll get used to it, kid. But
Makes no fucking
yes,
sense.
the coworker that likes her showed up and said that he's ready to die, but he wants to speak to her. So the tits let her come back, and they kiss, and then the tits take back over to go eat him. But then she notices a cup of coffee on the ground, and she turns back to herself. Yeah, all the flashback of all the times he brought coffee.
And that's when I noticed the fact that one day she had a million coffees on her desk.
Yeah. So she just rips those tits right off.
Yep. And
Chucks them.
And they land on top of a pair of dumpsters that say Tromaville, Slime City, Frankenhooker, and then something else. I couldn't remember what the other one said.
Oh yeah, Lloyd Kaufman did show up again, and he said something about Jesus jumping on a pogo stick, and then
Jesus on a pogo stick jumped by, which was really
dumb.
Yeah, that's a bit much. And then he runs after Jesus with jumping a pogo stick, which, I mean, honestly, if crazy shit was happening and Jesus hopped on a pogo stick, I would run after him too. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. So she's on the ground with that guy. Her tits are running away with her shirt.
Literally.
And that's where the chief decides he's gonna use his rosary beads on it, and that's where the guy bops up. And
that's when he goes, yeah. Go ahead.
No, Chief. Don't you know what happens when they show him that?
When you show when you show beads to a pair of breasts, and then
the shirt comes off him.
Yeah, it lands on his face.
And that's where then the titties are sitting on a garbage can.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And then
bad.
someone from work was there. She's like, you don't have boobs anymore. Now I'm better looking than you. And of course, her face is completely been smashed in.
I know.
And she steals her bra and covers the tits with them because it's underwire.
She crushes them.
That's tit torture.
She just crushes
them. And they explode into silicone goo all over her for some reason. They have silicone in them.
Yep.
Which they shouldn't because they're living beings, but okay.
Sure, but they could be silicone-based life forms, to be fair.
Yeah. And then she kisses the guy who doesn't like the taste of silicone. And then the cops get up and leave, like we said, and then the end, or is it? Then you have a little throwaway scene where the boyfriend, still missing a hand, is gonna get a dick implant from.
I can't wait for the Killer Cock sequel.
So that was Killer Rack.
I really actually enjoyed a good chunk of this movie. There were some really bad parts, and it was a bit slow in some spots, but I actually really enjoyed a whole bunch of this movie.
Yeah. There was just a lot of really dumb jokes.
Yes, it's really forced humor.
Overly dumb. And you didn't even get even an attack till like 35 minutes in.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of setup.
No, I mean, it's not bad, though. It sets up the world pretty good. I honestly, I don't know if you could actually turn the first 30 minutes at all. I think the middle 30s where you could do some trims. But the movie's only like 96 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, the whole gypsy, all of that could be gone.
In the back. What the fuck?
You could cut every bit of the gypsies.
Yep.
Scenes.
It's literally, and you could cut the scene in which they mentions all the gypsy crap, and you could like not mention that shit, and the movie would have been just fine.
It really only came into play with that one joke I chuckled at, where when everyone was being killed, and he said something about, she said the things that I love the most would destroy me. I didn't take her seriously because she kept asking if I was a virgin.
A virgin.
That's the only joke.
He said virgin.
Yeah, that was the. Yeah, whatever. That was the only thing I kind of chuckled at.
It's terrible. I hate it.
It still could have been cut out.
All right. So, what do you rate this one? And do you recommend it?
I'd give it a 3 out of 5.
I agree with 3 out of 5. I also recommend it. Even it's kind of dumb.
2 a certain class of people that would want to watch something like this shit.
Yeah, you can't just. Your mom
I'm
probably
not
doesn't want
just
to
gonna.
watch this.
I'm
you
not
know?
gonna bring it to work and say, "Hey, coworkers, check this
Yeah,
out."
don't. Yeah, don't bring it to your fucking pleb friends, man. You gotta give it to your real horror fans. They'll enjoy it. But yeah, I actually, um, I have a problem with a lot of these, as I said earlier, but the fact that you're trying to force the comedy. But honestly, even with all the flaws in the film, I actually thought that it was pretty fucking funny.
You laughed a lot.
Yeah, I know, because it was funny, and it sometimes was an awkward laugh too, because sometimes some of the humor was pretty bad. Oh, 'twas beauty that killed the bust was the line that the cops walked away with. That made me literally groan. I just went, oh man,
I
so
wouldn't
bad.
even call it horror.
Well, it's definitely a horror movie though.
I just call it comedy.
It's a horror comedy.
It's light on any horror.
It's got a monstrous pair of breasts that murder people. That's horror, dude.
Still, that's a stretch. That's a stretch.
No, it really isn't. But it's okay. It's a comedy horror. I definitely think it's comedy first. It's like Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's a comedy horror. But it's comedy first, then it's horror, you know? It's more funny than scary, but there's some horror elements. In this case, a pair of killer breasts. Which, by the way, I'd say when the killer breasts are on the lady, they're okay. They're not like, they don't really move a lot. They do have some inserts where they're moving and like they're like growling or whatever. It's okay, but once they fly off and become like these entities, it's this really cool puppet creature that I really dug. So if you're really into puppetry, you might dig that sequence quite a bit. All right, so what are we watching next week?
I'm gonna give you some choices.
All right, I like choices.
My Boyfriend's Back.
Okay. Never seen it.
My Best Friend is a Vampire.
Never seen it.
You've never seen those?
No.
You're slacking, man.
Probably.
They're more comedy, but with some horror.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're not stuck in any kind of genre, mind you. So.
Or one of the Munster movies.
Ooh.
You have Monsters Go Home and the Monsters Revenge.
I think we're gonna do My Boyfriend's Back. Because that one sounds like my speed.
I used to watch this all the time on TV when I was a kid.
So when he comes back from the prom? Or to take her to the prom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's on Blu-ray right now. I can pick that up. Cool. Alright, so that's what we're watching next week. We're watching My Boyfriend's Back.
Woo!
Thanks for joining us, folks, and we'll see you next week. Peace!